Got me another alternator and I'm all excited. I'm going to put it on, but I got one issue. Yeah, Mother Nature. Yeah, it's been raining today. Hopefully it stopped and looks like I'll get to put it on now, so bear with me. See if we can get this thing on. Alright, well here we go. You will need some tools, you'll need some sockets, mainly just metric sockets. You'll need a 15 wrench so you can get down in there and get on that bolt where that tensioner is, so we can turn it, so we can loosen up this belt. And we got a bungee cord here that we're going to hook onto this belt right there. And when I take the tension off of this bottom pulley on the tensioner, this belt will not slip off the rest of the pulleys. And you see when you take this alternator off and put the other one back on, all you got to do is slip the belt back on the big bracket. So that makes life a lot easier. So I'll go ahead and set the camera up here and we'll start taking this apart. And I think you can see down there, that tensioner is right there. So I'll end up using a 15. And I'll take a secondary wrench and put on top of that for leverage, and I'll kind of break it loose. Well, not break it loose, just what it does, it grabs a hold of that bolt on the tensioner, and it turns that tensioner and loosens that belt. So we'll go ahead and do that, and I'll unhook the battery here in a second, and we'll start taking this apart. By the way, the alternator I got here, I only paid $30 for it. Someone paid $180 for it, and I got it at a junkyard for $30, and it's only probably a month old. But I figured, you know, that was too good of a deal. My alternator's okay. I just don't want to take a chance. I don't know how long it's been on here, and winter's coming up, so I am also selling the car. So if I sell it, somebody will have a good alternator, and I'll just keep this one for backup. But it does work. But I just want to let you know about that before I start ripping things apart here, and that's why I'm actually doing this job today. And so let's go ahead and start doing this. Alright, I got my gloves. This thing's a little warm still, but I think I can go ahead and do it while it's warm. So first thing we'll do is we'll start unhooking some things here, and we'll just do this in real time. And I just know by the time I get halfway through here, it's going to start raining. But I'll take my chances. So we got to take this off next. I got a little 10mm bolt right there. Nut, I should say, in case anyone wants to critique me. So I can get this off real quick. Like I said, this alternator is good. I picked up the other one for $30 at a junkyard. It's only probably a month old, and they paid $160 for it. And winter's coming. I didn't want to take a chance in getting stuck somewhere. I don't know the history of this alternator. I'll just keep it for a backup. But I thought for 30 bucks, hey, that's a heck of a good deal. Alright, so that's off. I'll just kind of push this off the side. I always take my nuts and put them back on the alternator, because let's see, they're easy to lose, and you just can't grab any old nut. These are kind of designed a certain way. And now, I'll go ahead and take my bungee cord, and I'm going to take this down here to this belt, and wrap it around the belt. Now the reason I do that is I take a wrench, and I go down here where this pulley is, where the serpentine belt is, and I break that loose. Well, I don't break the bolt loose. I turn that serpentine belt pulley to loosen this belt up. Then when the belt loosens up, I just basically let this bungee cord take the slack out of the belt, and the belt doesn't fall off the rest of the pulleys. And when you put this alternator back on, you don't have to worry about dealing with the belt and all those gears and pulleys on the other side, because you know it's kind of hard to get your hands in there. Also, I'm not taking off my cooler. Just the camera here just a little bit better. I'm not taking this off. You can if you want, but I've got enough room here to do what I need to do. So it's, you know, the choice is yours for that. And I'll show you that bungee cord, how I got it around that belt here in a second. So we'll go ahead and take that, break that loose, get that belt off of here. Now I'm going to take my 15 like that, and I'm going to put another wrench on top of it like this, and kind of give me a little leverage. And I hope it doesn't start pouring rain down here. I gotta get my garage cleaned out before it gets too late in the year, so I can start doing some more work. If I can get the socket on there. There we go. Okay. Alright, so now I'm gonna go ahead and you know, is that the one? That should be the one. Actually, I gotta go this way with it. I believe it's this way. Yep. So when I pull this way, I can go ahead and slide this belt off of the pulley on the bottom. Of course, it's not going to come. May have to use a screwdriver to get it to come off. And there it comes. Okay. There we go. It's just about off. Alright, that took just about 5 minutes to get that off there. I dropped my wrench to go corner the car and get it. Alright, now I got the belt off, and you can see over here where the bungee cord is. It's kind of keeping the belt up in the air. And now all we got to do is go ahead and take this off. Now we got a couple of bolts. Got one here and one here. You got this little bracket, so we got to take that off first. And I believe that's going to be a 14. Or 13. 13. Am I in focus? Can you see it? Yeah, okay. So we'll go ahead and take this off. Alright, we'll set that off to the side. And I got one down here on the bottom, right where my finger is, right there. This little short one, it takes a 13 to get it also. I get a feeling that this is probably the original alternator on this car. The car's got 130,000 miles on it, so I'm going to take that off right there. Now, like I said, with this water cooler, this reservoir here, it's kind of tight in here, but if you elect to take it off, it probably will make your life a little easier, just so you know. But since I love punishment, I'm just going to fight with it and get my hand down in there and just about get that bolt out. It's a little short one. It bolts in the alternator and the bracket there. And hopefully none of my neighbors come over and talk to me, because every time they see me in the yard, they come over and start talking to me and I can't get anything done. Alright, there's that bolt right there. Set that off to the side, and I've got this big one right here. Now it takes, I believe, a 15. Yes. So now we're going to use a 15 socket. Probably one of the easier alternators to take off on these Tauruses. They're all the same all the way up to 2008 or 9, and these go all the way back to 1995. So there's probably 500 videos on how to do this, but you know what? I might as well add my 2 cents, right? Alright, so we got to slide this bolt out and get that bracket out of the way. And luckily they were smart enough to put a place in the reservoir to almost get that bolt out. And you notice I said almost. Maybe I can get it past that. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, there we go. Just enough room. Yep, there we go. And now we got that bracket off. As the rain starts to fall, I need to turn my camera lens around. Alright, now I can see. Now all we gotta do is pull that up out of there. I'll have to get a little hammer and a pry bar. I'll use a little pry bar here to help me out with. And there, my friend, is the alternator. Like I said, it's okay. I just decided to go ahead and put the newer one on here, so when winter gets here, if I'm out in a snowstorm, storm chasing, at least I'll have good parts. I know I've got a good starter and alternator, so this thing's ready for winter. Alright, now here goes the other one. We'll stick it back in here like this. Like that. I even left the stickers on it. Alright, hold off rain, don't rain, stop raining. So I'll go ahead and put this back on like this. It's been a really good car. Like I said, I've done a lot to it, but when I got it, it wasn't in very good shape. People ran crap out of it, but it's been a really good car. So now I'm going to go ahead and stick this bolt back in here for the bracket, which is right down. Well, I think you can actually see that right there. Okay. It's right there. Apologize if you don't see it, but I think you can. Finger tight that. And I think you can see the belt there, kind of hanging right there by the bungee cord. Matter of fact, this rain we're having right now, this is leftovers of Matthew hurricane that came up through Florida, the East Coast. The most hyped storm in 5 years. That's all I got to say about that. Anyway, use both my hands. Get in here. There we go. There we go. I think we got it started there. All right. Bird fight. All right, let's start this one there. I know some of you are bored and you're like, why am I sitting here watching this guy put an alternator on? Trust me, I've done it too. You find yourself zoning out looking at videos wondering, why am I still watching this? It's a pretty long bolt. And by the way, this is my first video on my new editing system. I have Final Cut Pro X, and I've been trying to learn how to edit. So this will be my very first video, and hopefully it will be very sharp and crisp and clear. I'll start looking kind of professional. I'm just going to kind of make it real tight. There we go. That's on. Put our bolt back on here. Like that. And we'll finish tightening these two up. I believe that's a 13 also. Let's see. Yep. And that's a 15. at least this will give you some idea and kind of in real time how long it takes to do this. This has taken me about 25 minutes. Very nice alternator. Very clean. You can even see the coils on it yet. Shiny. It's even got a bunch of tags on it. I think this is 120 amp. I'm not sure. So now all I got to do is put the belt on and hook these two wires up. We'll go ahead and do that real quick. Someone just cut these wires off. They didn't care. Of course, it makes it hard to get off sometimes when they do that. Get that off. Don't you just love it when they just cut wires? Let me grab that. My gloves are slippery now. Hard to hold on anything. And now this guy here, on a lot of these alternators, they have this little extra connector. I'm just going to take this one off there. If you can see that right there, I'm just going to take that off because I don't need it. I know a lot of the Ford Focuses have that, but this one doesn't. So I'm just going to take that off real quick. I think it's a 10. I believe it was a 10, yeah. I should know by now. Alright, yep. This wiring harness is kind of in the way a little bit there. I think you can see that. Let me zoom in a little bit there. Zoom in that way. There we go. There, okay. Try not to lose my bolt. I'm going to try to keep the nut. There's the little nut, a little 10 millimeter. Alright, now we can take this off. Let's see. Well, let's see. Maybe this one stays on. I don't know. Let's see. Some of those stay on, some stay off. I think this one comes off, though. Let's see what. Well, you know what? I can leave that on because this will bolt up on the top of that. So, I know on the other alternator I took off on the Taurus, this piece did come off. But you know what? Since it's on, I'm just going to leave it on. Ain't going to hurt anything. I'm just trying to be, you know, real meticulous. OCD kicking in. Alright, we'll put that back on there. And I got to get the alternator and get my other bolt. There's the little bolt. Nut. Why do I say bolt? It's nut. So I can kind of snake this around like this. Down there like this. Like that. Try not to lose your little nut, Nathan. Okay. There, we're just about, there we go. Now, tighten that up. Actually, I kind of like that. It's interesting. Alright, that's on. All I gotta do is put this cover on it. Turn it a little bit. Should be able to turn it some. Like that. Dust boot. Alright, get in there real quick. It's being a pain in the butt. There we go. Just about on. Let me check the other alternator. Well, you can see my old alternator, how that's just kind of on there. I'm pretty sure that comes off. Again, I don't want to take a chance breaking it, but I want to get that boot on there the right way. Alright, I'm going to have to stop here. It's really pouring the rain down, so let me shut the camera off and give me a few minutes here. What are you going to do? So now I'm just going to kind of wait until the rain stops. Alright. It's all back together. Put the cap back on there, and I actually made that dust boot go over that, so it's okay now. And make sure you tighten up your bolts. I got that one tight, and there's that one I was dealing with a little while ago, right there. And the belt's back on. I just, like I said, I put this 15 down there on the bottom of that bolt right there, that serpentine pulley right there, and just kind of pulled back on it, and I slipped the belt back on. That's why the bungee cord's here. It holds that belt in place. You know, you can rig it any way you want. And I got my battery hooked up, and now all I gotta do is go in there and start it. And I'll show you the old alternator. The dust boot was just a little different on the back there, the connector. See, it didn't have that elbow, but when you buy parts, you know, alternators, you gotta just double check for that stuff, make sure it's okay. So now let me go in here and start it up and see how it sounds and make sure everything's okay. Alright, everything seems to be okay. No noises, so I'm happy with my alternator, my $30 alternator, which cost about probably 50 or 60 bucks. So that's going to work out pretty good, and everything's working good, looking good as the rain continues to fall. It's been one of those days that before we know it, it will be snowing. So there you go. If you have an alternator you need to replace, especially on a Taurus or a Sable or anything, this will give you some idea how to do it. But like I said, there's probably 10 million videos on YouTube on how to do it, but hey, I might as well add my 2 cents, right? Alright, well, thanks for watching, everybody, and be safe, and I will catch you later. So, happy skies, everybody.